Hey everybody, it's Miss Leon. I just wanted to step in here real quick and start our next lesson, 1-3, to compare whole numbers. So your objective is to use place value. Again, we're going to keep talking about place value to compare numbers and record your comparisons using the greater than, less than, and equal signs. I wanted to take a second and show you guys your vocabulary cards. The first one is the greater than symbol. And it says that 10 is greater than 5, which is true. Please look at the little greater than sign. It looks like an alligator mouth. And notice that the alligator is eating the 10. So the alligator is always going to eat the bigger of the two numbers. On the back of this card, it says, in a number sentence, a symbol that points away from the greater number or expression is called the greater than symbol. So what's really important about this is that you look at this and you notice that the alligator is always eating the bigger number. With that being said, here's the less than symbol, because you're noticing with the less than that the pokey part is always pointing to the smaller number. So it's always pointing toward the smaller number, and it's always eating the bigger number because the alligator always wants to eat more. The last vocab card I wanted to add here is the conjecture one. And it said, I highlighted the words more and than because it's a comparative statement. It's comparing two things. There are more toys in the larger box than the smaller box. We also see on here that there's the ending ER in both of these words. So we know it's a comparing statement. So a conjecture, on the back of this card, it says a conjecture is a statement that is believed to be true, but maybe not necessarily proven. You are going to be asked to explain your thinking in math, and you're going to do that using a conjecture. To start our learning, I'm going to go ahead and use our notes. So in our notes, I wrote comparing numbers because that is the objective. That's what we're learning to do today. I'm using the greater, less than symbols and the equal sign. When you're comparing numbers, there are 3 steps that are included. I think it's very important that you always make a place value table. That way you are aligning your numbers up where they should be according to place value. Step 1. Line up the numbers. So to begin lining up our numbers, I need to make my place value table. And I just turned my paper and I'm using the lines that they have already created inside of our in our notebook to do the place value chart. And so I'm going to label it again according to place value, always starting with the ones place. Then we have the tens place, the hundreds place, and then after that, we have the 1000s place. And please remember that they call these groups of numbers separated by commas, they call them periods. So I don't like that. Remember, I really call them neighborhoods. So I kind of like to make a little loop around this so we know that this is the ones period. And then after that, or the ones neighborhood. And then after that, you know, it would be the thousands neighborhood. But we're going to go ahead and create that place value table, and we're going to begin lining up our numbers. The first number that we have is 6,356. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that into my table right here. It's 6,356. 6,356. The next number that I have, and I need to make sure I add my comma right here. The next number that I have is 6,378. 6,378. So I took the two numbers that I'm comparing. I'm going to compare these two numbers, and I lined them up at the place value table. Now that I have written my numbers in the place value chart, I'm going to do step 2. And that means that I am going to start at the left part of our number to compare. So the very important thing, I wrote it in big letters here, is that you're going to start at the left to compare, which means you're going to go to the biggest part of its place value and begin comparing at that point. So the numbers on the very left are in the 1,000s place, and both of them are the digit 6. So the next step in my directions say that if those numbers are the same in that place, to cross them out. So only cross out numbers if they are the same. So again, I'm looking all the way to the left. I see that these numbers are the same. They're both 6s. So I'm going to cross both of them out because they are the same. We cannot use those numbers to compare because they are the same. So since the 6s were the same and we crossed them out, we have to do step 2 again. We are looking at the left. We see that these numbers are also 3s. They are also the same. So we both need to cross those out as well. So now we get back to this place, the tens place, and we are noticing that these digits are different. So that gets us to step 3. I'm going to go ahead and write that one down. Step 3 says that when you're in that place and those numbers are different, you have to decide which of those two numbers is greater. And when you do find the number that is greater, or you know which number is bigger of those two, you have to circle the greater number. So here we are, we're looking at a 5, we're looking at a 7. We know that 7 is greater than 5. So because this 7 is greater than the 5, that means that this number right here, 6,378, is going to be greater than 6,356. So now we're going to write this in a number sentence. In this number sentence, I'm writing down that 6,378 is, remember my alligator, greater than, wants to eat this one because it's bigger, greater than 6,356. And that is how I do a comparison of two different numbers.